ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app. Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is the Breakfast Bankroll for May 16th. It's Thursday. The weekend is almost here. Shout out to our two producers today, the one and only Mr. Noah Frank, and making his debut backstage, the one and only Mr. Christian Morales. Congratulations, Christian, and good luck tomorrow. Is a big day for you in store. Shout out to our proud sponsor and partnership, of course, WagerWire. If you haven't downloaded the app, please head on over to Google Play. I should just have a recording. That's what we need to do, Noah. We need a recording of this so I don't have to say this every time. Download the app. It's free. Get yourself acclimated to this app. A lot of good stuff coming from myself, the WagerWire team and community. And a shout out to Travis and Zach as they are in Malta. Hell of a picture out there today. Enjoy yourselves. Safe travels back to the States next week, and hope to have you guys on here soon. So without further ado, let's bring in the star of this show, the one and only Mr. Julian Edlow. What's up, Jules?
Not much. How we doing, Jeff?
We're doing well. You wake up this morning and I don't know if you feel that, like, wow, you accomplished something. It just, again, business as usual, spin, rinse, repeat. Can we just get this done? Of course, I'm talking about the Celtics. Two starters out, Donovan Mitchell out again for the Cavs. Good first half by the Cavs. Celtics flex their muscles in the second half, take care of business. Another 4-1 series accomplishment, and now they sit and wait. Will they open up Sunday against the Knicks, or will we have to wait and see? And will it be the Pacers or the Knicks on Tuesday? Thoughts about the Celtics last night? Thoughts about how they're playing in general?
Yeah, they did fine. I'm not going to crush them for not winning, not dominating this team. A Cleveland team down so many pieces the way that people wanted them to. They failed to cover by a point when it came down to the final number. I'm also not going to say that they played their best or looked dominant or are playing as well as they should be. They're going to need to play better than they're playing right now against either team in the Eastern Conference Final, and then significantly raise their level and get Porzingis back for an NBA Final. So they played fine. I understand it's hard to take the game. It's a hard way to say it. It's hard to take the full game seriously, I guess, when Cleveland's down so many pieces, but it shouldn't be in a game 5 of a second round playoff series. So again, they've accomplished nothing so far. They've probably played worse than we would like them to play, even though they're 8-2 in the postseason. But hopefully they're just getting their stride and buying Porzingis some time. And I expect them to win the Eastern Conference Final, regardless of who it is, in 5 games.
Our friends, our colleagues, and I'm going to just throw it out there because, again, we all have our shtick. We all have our styles on social media. Dan Lifshatz at 98.5. Good friend and colleague, keeps raising this question. And I think it's going to be said if and when they make it to the finals. I don't want to call this a UConn-esque drive here like UConn did through the tournament. But again, the expectations in the first round of just mopping the court with these guys, the expectations with the injuries of the Cavaliers, now a banged up Knicks team, Villanova Juniors here, or Indiana Pacers, who I think will give you a little more push. But where I'm going with this is you haven't played anyone to get to if we get to the championships. Let me back it up here. Who do you want to see the Celtics play, Knicks or Pacers?
I'll answer it two different ways. As a sports fan, I want the buzz that comes with a Knicks Eastern Conference final. So that's my preference. From a basketball standpoint, it shouldn't make a difference. The Celtics should win either series in 5 games or less.
I agree with that. Before we circle back, actually,
just to go back to it, the reason why they match up differently, Knicks grind it out a little more. They're going to annoy you a little more. Pacers speed it up, a little more skilled. None of that should matter. It's all about how the Celtics are playing and taking their game to the next level to prepare for Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, whatever. It's all about how the Celtics are playing in that matchup.
Happy Thursday to Mr. Sean Alvarez, who will be here live at 1 o'clock. We'll be talking the Preakness, Pimlico, Will Mystic Dan make it a 2 in a row and 1 race away from the Triple Crown. See you in a couple hours, Mr. Alvarez. Thank you so much for showing up here. Are you worried? Does Porzingis have to play in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Celtics to move on?
Nope. They should beat Indy or New York without Porzingis playing at all in the series in 5 games. They're far superior to either team that they would get. So they will need Porzingis in an NBA final for sure, which is June 6th. That would give him plenty of time. I've said I'll be anything before June 6th from Porzingis is a bonus because, again, Celtics are rolling through these series. They got close to a week off between Miami and Cleveland. Now, if it's a Tuesday start, if we see any game 7s, now you're going to get another 6 days off before a Tuesday start. And then if you can handle that series in 5, I mean, that's going to put you at more than a week off going into the NBA Finals. Not that the other guys need the time off, but it's good for Horford to get the rest after playing heavier minutes and then get Porzingis all the way up to speed for the start of the NBA Finals. So they shouldn't need him at all. Now, if they were to struggle a bit, let's say it's 2-2 against the Knicks, you're going into a game 5 and he's all the way there, then sure, play him. But I think we're going to see the Celtics take care of business again in the Eastern Conference Final. They'll have one dumb loss that will crush them for and say, I can't believe they did this. And then they'll come back and take care of business. Even if they don't cover, if it doesn't look pretty, they'll win the games. And I would expect, if you maybe bet on it, you put every date on the board, I would say Kristaps Porzingis plays on June 6th.
On June 6th. I'll agree with that. You know, we'll stay here in the NBA for a second because a week ago, I think Celtics fans were doing cartwheels. They were getting the parade route, the duck boats all set because the Denver Nuggets were down 0-2 and the Ant Country from Minnesota looked like OMG. So we were looking at a Timberwolves coming home up 2-0 versus either or an OKC or, of course, the Mavericks with Kyrie and Luka. So Celtics Nation had their chest out of the limb. Thank God we don't have to go through the defending champs. Thank God, no Joker, no Murray. Now, Denver said, hold my beer. Joker said, oh, not so fast, guys. Really woke up, and it looks like they're going to be a factor again, Jules.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying all along that I don't mind the path in the East. Like, I don't care if it's difficult or not or who you play. But whoever you play out of the West is going to be the real deal. If it's not Denver, it means that either Minnesota is good enough to finish this out and take 2 and prove themselves, or it means that Dallas is good enough to beat Denver, which puts them the way that they're playing in a pretty at a pretty dangerous level. So whoever comes out of the West is going to be the test for the Celtics. And the Celtics are going to need to play better than they are playing now to win that series and have Porzingis to win that series against whoever it is out of the West. But yeah, Denver really proven itself. Minnesota coming undone. I have Wolves plus 1.5 games in that series. They go up 2-0 on the road. If they lose tonight, that doesn't cash. Wolves plus 1.5 games was minus 7,000 after 2 games. That would be the first time I've lost one that way.
That will definitely sting for sure there. I don't get the hype. Maybe I'm just getting too old. NFL yesterday finally released the schedule. And for all the experts, the so-called experts, the check marks, the big platforms, the schedule's out. The Patriots open up at Cincinnati. Give me the thought on the Pats. Give me the thought, the initial thought, because this is now a busy time for you because you got your work cut out for you here because the schedules are out. DraftKings is now going to be put, over-unders, obviously. Week 1 games.
I'll forget week 1. I'm pretty sure we got every game on the board. Let me confirm it. I didn't even flip through all of them last night. I know all week 1's up, all week 2's up. Yeah, I mean, I'm scrolling through it now. I think every game is on the board at DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you got a game you want to bet this year, it's there.
Well, let's start with the Pats here, Jules. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I went through the schedule, and just for poops and giggles, I actually had them over their over-under in their season wins. Give me the thoughts. Again, the rookie mini camp, then we're going to have mini camps, OTAs. Are you expecting week 1 Drake Maye or not?
Oh, no, absolutely not. That would be doing him a disservice. That's not what they drafted him for. I think that's exactly why Jacoby Brissett was brought in. I think it's a pretty clear plan. And I think because there was, what was the article that came out that Drake Maye maybe could start week 1? Somebody floated that out there. And of course there's markets. So Jacoby Brissett was brought down from like minus 500 to minus 250 to be the week 1 starter. I think Brissett, if you're somebody that is comfortable laying juice, and this has once been lost on Cam Newton to start over Mac Jones at a much shorter price. But if you're somebody that's comfortable with that juice, I wouldn't want to lock it up now until September. But if that's around over the summer and things keep trending the way they are, Jacoby Brissett's going to be the week 1 starter. And Drake Maye needs at least half the season, in my opinion. Maybe in the building, they know he'll be doing better than that, and they'll want to bring him in earlier. But I have no problem with somebody like Drake Maye sitting an entire season and playing next year. So no reason to rush it. Take it slow. You're kind of going for the long build here right now.
With all the schedules out, and like you said, DraftKings has got anything and everything up there for your liking. The kid in the candy store, as I like to say. I know it's only been 12 hours. Is there anything that you've looked at? Anything caught your eye, or is it just a blur right now?
I haven't bet anything, and I don't love the week 1 card all that much. The Bengals are taking a ton of money against the Patriots. They've already moved up a point. That's 8.5. That's probably going to be a teaser leg if it doesn't move anymore when we get closer on the Cincy side, obviously. But Chiefs are 3 on DK. If the Chiefs were laying 2.5 at home against Baltimore, I would kind of lean that way. It's a decent revenge spot for Baltimore, though, to get one on the road on ring night after that AFC Championship game. So I might stay away. Total open 51.5. It's down to 47.5. So can't bet that anymore, but I agree with the move. Strong under spot. And again, not a lot of games popped. I think I'm going to be on the Eagles under 10.5 wins. I don't love the Eagles much this year. I know they had a good draft, but they the way they spiraled at the end of last year, I don't think they've fixed all of that. So the Packers getting 1.5 or plus 105 on the money line in that Friday night game in Brazil. So again, opening the season on a Friday in Brazil is kind of a weird spot. So I don't want to go there yet, but I lean to the Packers. I like the way they finished the year. And then what was the other one? Tom Brady's first game in the booth. It looks like the Browns are already taking money. Dallas was awful on the road last year, particularly outdoors. I know it's September, but Cleveland's got a really good defense. I'm not a big Deshaun Watson fan by any means, but I would lean to Cleveland in that game. So those are my three leans. Haven't acted on anything yet.
I have to ask you the college football schedule / over-unders / games of the year. I saw some out there. Jeffrey Benson at the Circa is going to have some stuff out there. The Superbook, we already know. Have you taken any peeks in college? Anything grabbing your eye? I mean, no Pac-12 this year. I don't know what you and I are going to do about that, but we've been spot on the last few years on the Pac-12. Anything grabbing your eye early?
Yeah, the Pac-12 has been awesome, and I have a couple of former Pac-12 teams that I am pretty high on this year. I have a win total in 2 games that I can't give you yet because they're only at DraftKings, and I need to bet them, and then I will tell you about them. So I don't know. We got everything up. I need everybody else to catch up and get these games and this particular team's win total up. So that would be great if some books could start moving on this. But what I can tell you, I am high on a former Pac-12 team in Utah. I bet Utah over 9.5 wins. I bet them at plus 350 to win the Big 12. Thought process being the Texas and Oklahoma out of the Big 12. Utah comes in. The other favorites are K-State, Kansas, not your traditional Big 12 powerhouses. Utah comes over, well-coached team, veteran quarterback, and a healthy Cam Rising getting another year. They run the ball well. We know Kyle Whittingham always has them playing defense. And these other teams in the Big 12 don't have any familiarity with them. So I think that Utah's coaching is going to adapt better to game planning for these Big 12 teams than the Big 12 teams are going to do adapting to bringing Utah in. So the schedule sets up pretty nice for them. And I think they're going to be the best team in this new Big 12. So I like Utah to win the conference and go over 9.5 wins quite a bit.
You know, the hard part for me to wrap my head around, it's a 12-team playoff now. And so a lot of the strategy is gone. In other words, conference champs and who makes it to the Final Four. And it always started in the SEC. Was Bama going to win the conference and another team get in? Well, the last handful of years, obviously, it's been run by Georgia. Alabama loses early, and now are they going to sheet and then beat Georgia to get in? And I have a hard time. Listen, we know Ohio State's a wagon this year. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But there's a big difference when you just need to win 2 games to be the champ than this 12-team format where a team that might have gotten an early loss or even 2 early losses, Julian, a high-powered team might sneak into the 8-9 spot and might get a favorable matchup or 2 to get there. Are you finding it hard to just plunk your money on Ohio State? Because it's not just win 2 games and you're the champs now.
Yeah. I would say the format makes it more difficult to play a preseason favorite, put it that way. Because they do have to win more games. At the same time, you have a lot more confidence they're going to get in. Like last year, Georgia, rightfully so, should have been taking a lot of money. Had they gotten in, they very well could have won. I thought they were probably better than Michigan, but Alabama takes them down, and that one loss doesn't even give you the chance with them getting in. This year, Georgia, Ohio State takes a late loss like that, they're still getting in. So you at least have that going for you. So there's some good and some bad. You're gonna have to win some extra games, and but you have a better shot to get in. So I think Ohio State's going to be really good. I'm a little higher on Georgia. I think they'll have more of a chip on their shoulder after only losing to Alabama and not getting given the chance. They bring Carson Beck back. They're going to have a really good defense. They didn't lose that much to the NFL. A couple pass catchers in Bowers, obviously a big one, and McConkey, but they didn't lose as much as the back-to-back national title team did that came back and went 12-0 last year and then lost to Bama. So I like Georgia if I'm betting on one of the favorites at this point in time. And the positive news is that we pretty much know they're going to get it.
Got about 4 or 5 minutes before we wrap this up as you head off to another show there, Jules. Sports this weekend, obviously, Celtics sitting and waiting. Bruins game 6 tomorrow at the Garden. So they're going to go, obviously, as far as Swayman takes them. Stood on his head. They were able to get to a game 6. So you got, obviously, NBA, NHL. The Red Sox just limping along. What does Jules, where are your eyes here? Dallas, do they wrap it up in 6, or will there be a 7 in OKC? How's Minnesota hold up? Where's your eyes in the DraftKings Sportsbook for the weekend looking?
Yeah, I'll be NBA, sprinkling some MLB, sprinkling some WNBA. Off to a good start in WNBA with the props. I've been liking those. More widely available now due to the Caitlin Clark effect. We're going to get more props on games. I think that's good. But yeah, I'll be looking mostly at the NBA, and we'll see if we get a game 7. I'm hoping we get a Minnesota-Denver game 7 on Sunday for personal reasons. I will say I'll translate it into a play tonight that I didn't get to. Anthony Edwards over 29.5 points. That's even money on DraftKings. I want to bet Minnesota tonight. I'm a little scared of how they've looked the last few games, but this is a good spot for them to kind of rebound. The same reason that, nobody wanted to, or the same reason that people wanted to bet on Denver in a game 4. Are they really going to let go of the rope and lose 4 in a row here? But I think the way to kind of isolate that is Anthony Edwards having a good game. He came back from a bad game in the series, dropped 44 on Sunday in game 4. He played poorly in game 5 on the road. He's put all the bad games and the losses on himself. I think he bounces back and has a really good game. So whether Minnesota wins or not, I think Anthony Edwards comes out and has a really strong game, gets into the 30s, and that's even money.
And before we close here, I'm glad you brought up Caitlin Clark. Shout out, to Caitlin, the WNBA. I called a buddy of mine, and I almost took the trip up to Mohegan. It was a sellout. Last minute, I decided to dip out. First time that Connecticut has ever sold out. And the comedy is that game on ESPN had more views than the Bruins and Panthers game 5 they did in the second round of the playoffs. So shout out to Caitlin, the WNBA. Have seen a lot on social media. A lot more talk, a lot more chatter. You brought up the props, kind of comical. Of course, Vegas just is too sharp. Her over-under game 1 in scoring was 20.5. Of course, it lands on 20. And they opened up her next game at 19.5 and immediately took money and went to 20.5. So, again, we'll be doing a lot more WNBA. As I was wrapping up on Tuesday, I was watching the Aces and versus Diana Taurasi go UConn. They had that game covered, and then I think the Aces ended up on a 6-0 run to sneak out the cover there. But your eyes are going to be on the WNBA more because of Caitlin, Jules?
Personally, no, just because there's going to be more markets because of Caitlin Clark. So I'm not necessarily as interested in her as everyone else is, just more interested that she brings more eyes to the sport, thus creating more markets. that weren't formally there would be posted later in WNBA. Like last night, we had overnights posted for this Indiana-New York game with player props and everything like that. So it's kind of normalizing the markets a little bit more, making it more of a major sport.
Jules, the scroll has been going the whole time. Everyone can follow you on Twitter at Julian Edlow. They can get all your work at DraftKings at DK Sportsbook. Catch you on the weekends, The Sweat, DK, VSiN Live, DK Network. But as I always wrap it up here, tell them where to find all your great work and where they can find you on TV, brother.
Yeah, 8 to 10 weekends, The Sweat, VSiN, DraftKings Network, Samsung TV. I tweet it out every week. The DraftKings account tweets it out every week. 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern, The Sweat, Saturday and Sunday.
Hope to see you Sunday at the Garden. If not, we'll catch up on Tuesday for the first game of the Eastern Conference Championship. Thank you, as always. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week, brother.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
Take care. The one and only Julian Edlow at Julian Edlow at DK Sports at DraftKings. A legend, a local legend. I can't thank him enough for our opportunity every Thursday to break down the Boston sports, the locals, and then, of course, the national market through the eyes of the DK Sportsbook. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Russell Saylor, as wishing us a good morning to JD and Julian. Russell, good morning. Your Colts schedule is out. I hope you've gone through that tooth and comb. We'll have Ron on in a couple of weeks so we can break that down as well. Shout out to Sean Alvarez, as he will be here live, 1 o'clock Eastern, talking the Preakness at Pimlico. Will Mystic Dan make it 2 in a row? And at 4:30, myself and Riley Magnuson will be back for the closing bell. Again, shout out to Noah Frank, Christian Morales. Great jobs behind the desk. You guys are awesome as always. For everyone watching it, enjoy yourself. Local, stay dry. It's warm down here on Cape Cod. Back here at 1 o'clock, guys. Have an amazing morning and see you soon.